I hit the record button.
Okay.
The magic starts now.
Now, I'm going to start us with a picture. This is a picture of us at our very first gig that I found. Take a look. There we are.
Oh, wow.
That's 8 years ago. That was
before the gender surgery.
Yeah. Then there was this one, which was, again, us early days.
I'm uncomfortable with looking at pictures of children on the internet. It just ends poorly.
Here's my hard drive.
Let me show everybody my President's Choice MasterCard, and let's see what happens.
What's your PIN number, Pete?
Okay.
So let's see now. We've got Laserman42. Peter and Kim are here, apparently. Do you know who Peter and Kim are, Rick?
I know Peter Kim, yes. Kim was in the all-female version of The Odd Couple. Not all-female, because they have the two neighbors that come in. The female version of The Odd Couple. Down and went and saw her a couple of weeks ago. Really great. You were the funniest one, Kim. The others were dirt. They were dirt. They did. Well, no, a couple of them were actually better than you. Most of them. Anyway.
So who wants to start? We're the Frantics.
We're the Frantics.
We're
the Frantics. Hey, there's no time delay on this thing. Why is that?
We're the Frantics. We'll be here till we go. I'm waiting for you guys to keep singing.
That's interesting to me that there's no delay, or is there? And I'm just not noticing it.
Well, we're talking at the same time. Is that what you mean?
Well, normally, like if I'm talking to someone in California on a webinar, there's a second and a half because it goes up to a satellite and stuff. But like we were actually all singing along there, or maybe it just sounded like we were to me.
I think
some of it has to do with your computer. So for those of you who don't know, we're a four-man comedy troupe that's formed in 1979.
Yep.
And then split in 1980.
Yes.
And got back together after New Year's.
80? No, 88.
No.
87.
No, closer to 89.
Okay.
I say 10 years. It makes it nice, a nice round number. 10
okay.
Years. And we did numerous radio shows, television shows, lots of live stage shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we got back together again in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
We've been sort of doing things on and off since then, and now we're trying to find an excuse to do more things.
Yeah, then you need to. Yeah, that's it, basically.
And this might be one of
nothing else. Nothing else.
This doesn't count towards that total, does it?
No.
Okay.
We're in the negative now. We have to do something good to get us back up to zero again.
Okay, so there's a question from M. Borgen. Borjan.
Couldn't you just use the real name? Okay.
What about Walk Upright? 4 on the Floor. Well, Walk Upright, I'm in the middle of editing the second version, second half. That's right. So I keep restarting it because I don't like the job I did. So hopefully that'll be improving. So Walk Upright will be up before Christmas.
And 4 on the Floor is an ongoing drama.
Right.
Yeah, we need.
That's all we should say.
Yeah. No, I want to explain it quite clearly. You see, this. Okay. Wait a minute.
Delete. Where's the delete?
I think my lawyer's up there.
Unfortunately, we don't have control over 4 on the Floor, and the producers have chosen not to create extra digital medias of it. Or medium or media.
We leave that.
But if we can outlive them.
Nothing will happen, Rick.
And their heirs.
Comedy rights.
Our heirs can outlive their heirs. Let's see.
Somebody saw us in Halifax.
In the 80s. Great show. Yeah. Kids on the Hall reunion tour wouldn't come, jerks.
So that show you would have seen, Randy, was the very, very first Frantics Walk Upright because we only played Halifax once. It was in the Rosen, was it the Rose Cohen or the Rosen Theater? Rosen Theater, I think, in Halifax. It was beautiful. But that was the first night we did Walk Upright in Halifax. And it was the first time we played there.
NB Hoser said they made their own box set of Four on the Floor.
Oh, very nice. You're ahead of me.
Wow.
So,
You'll have to send us a picture of it.
I have the bag set, which is not nearly as nice. How did Prisoners of Gravity come to be? It just happened. Just we wandered in, started shooting stuff. They gave us money. That was it. It's very quick.
I read that on Wikipedia. It was a very, very short entry.
Yeah. Was it open to some correction?
Was it Mark Asquith baby with Prisoners of Gravity? Was that it?
It was supposed to be Mark was going to sit in front of a bookcase in between two episodes of Doctor Who and talk about comic books for 8 minutes, and he hated being on camera. So then he was going. They suggested he wear a mask, and then I happened to be in the building, and what's his name? Daniel Richler was the head of the arts at TV Ontario, and he said, let's. I gave him some ideas, and he said, those are science ideas, and that's a children's show. Then he called me about an hour later or 2 hours later and said, I've got this show, and there's this fellow named Mark Asquith. I went, oh, yeah, I know Mark. I played ball hockey with him every weekend. And so came on board, and then they lost the rights to Doctor Who. So now instead of 8 minutes, we had a half hour to fill, and it was amazing.
It was a terrific show. You talked to people that nobody else was talking to.
Yeah, I didn't get it because I wasn't because I was doing Red Green at the same time. So I was coming in and writing the script, but all the people that were interviewed, Mark Asquith and Greg Thurlbeck and Shirley Brady, were doing 99% of them. I did a few, we had Neil Gaiman, we had George R.R. Martin, and this was back in 89, 90, 91, up to about 94.
Was he thinner back then?
What's that?
Was R.R. Martin thinner back then?
No, not necessarily. Oh. No, I don't think so. My favorite thing was we did an interview with Salman Rushdie. And what was it? What do they call it when there's a death threat for Salman Rushdie?
Fatwa?
Yes, thank you. So the fatwa is on. And so the other book show went down and interviewed him, and we tagged on a bunch of questions. And then up in the trope of the show is I was in space, so I'd click on things to connect to people. And when it came to the Salman Rushdie clip, and they did this little thing like this, big click, 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 hiding the buttons I was pushing so no one could see. But at the time, it was like, and people didn't think it was all that amusing, except we did. Because it was, it wasn't clear whether someone was going to pull off that fatwa. Anyway, Pog artwork is what I meant. Oh, the artwork, that's Ty Templeton. Go to his website, Ty Templeton. And Ty Templeton has a website, and he has a cartoon called Buntoons. Very fun.
He's a very good cartoonist. So we've got White Ford Focus. So great to hear these familiar voices. Funniest show ever. Listened to Franklin Times for years until the poor old ancient Memorex cassette tapes wore out. Well, I've been promising to edit the old shows. Actually, I was going to have some for tonight, and I forgot.
I think you're officially old, Paul, because you're filling your basement with stuff, and you go, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that someday.
If the lawyers will let me.
You just finished your basement a couple of months ago, right? And that took 10 years?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I just don't have the same manic energy to sit in front of a computer and spend my entire day in front of it editing stuff. I'm sorry.
Wait, you have to have a stroke. Do you have a show coming up that I'm in, or that we're in, or we're watching? I've got all of the last season of Mad Men to catch up on, and no, we don't have anything coming up. We'll probably do this again, though. Are you out? Any of you outperforming these days? I'm outperforming. I think Dan's outperforming.
Well, Dan's got a show out there now.
I'm going to plug. I've got a show called Sunnyside.
There you go.
On City TV on Sundays at 8.
Okay, lots of love. There it is.
Yeah. And if they aren't local, where they get it online? CityTV.com.
CityTV.com.
There you go.
Yeah,
City TV.
Watch all episodes.
Very good.
And
It's a very funny show. Very
if you
funny
like
show.
that sort of thing.
I think it's really hit its stride with its last 2 shows.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like we did 6 episodes, and I like them fine, and I like the new ones better. So that's good. Good direction to go in.
Really love the fact that the insanity is never acknowledged. It's just rolling through one insane thing after another. It's not even pointed out. It's peripheral. You're not putting a giant bow on it. And that coffee sketch was very funny.
And it's different from Downton Abbey, is what I would say. That's all I got.
It's very different from Abby Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody asked about Mrs. Sarnicki. I'm going to go over to my filing cabinet because I think I have some. Yeah, pretend I'm still here. Say mean shit about me.
He thinks he has a filing cabinet. He doesn't.
He's going out to his car and opening the trunk.
So people are tweeting at the same time. Oh, I love this new newfangled technology.
Is there a story behind Mrs. Sarnicki? Dan, tell us about Mrs. Sarnicki.
Mrs. Sarnicki, I don't think was mine. That's kind of Rick's madness.
Didn't it start though with her voice?
Yeah, her voice was Carolyn's.
That drove us. We started getting her to say stupid things, and then that got into the commercial part.
Yeah.
I think that was character driven.
Yeah, she had this insane voice that she would do, and it just made us laugh. She could say anything. So we'd write a stupid line like these cheese sandwiches are knocking nylons off, but it made us laugh like crazy. So.
It's like underwear owned by Scotland.
All right, here I found these are Mrs. Sarnicki scripts. I'll read one out until you hear one you like. Mrs. Sarnicki baked beans. Mrs. Sarnicki Biff detergent. Mrs. Sarnicki
baked beans.
Oh,
baked beans.
My guess is perhaps a fart joke's coming.
Come on, let's go.
All right. So, if for those who don't know, and there are still people on the planet who don't, Mrs. Sarnicki was a character played by Carolyn Scott, who is hilarious, and she came up with this voice that none of us can really imitate, but we'll try. If you like baked beans, you'll love the rich flavor of Browner's baked beans. We asked shoppers to compare another brand to Browner's. Sound of grocery store. Try this brand. Yug! Whose rabbit produced these pellets? Now try these. Bursting with taste, bursting with goodness, bursting with that gooey pasty mush that you get in beans. These are Browners. Wow! These are so scrumptious I'd eat them till I was physically ill. How would you describe the flavor? I don't have to. Stick around a few hours and they'll speak for themselves. Will your family be eating Browner's beans? Not so much eating as regruling. Regruling?
What?
Regaling? Not so much eating as R-E-G-U-E-L. Reguling.
Beguiling?
Not so much eating as whatever. She would have made it funny. These beans are tasty beyond words. Not so much eating as something or other. These beans are tasty beyond words. I only wish I knew interpretive dance. And Browner's beans are good for you. Good for me, yes, but the neighbors are in trouble. And did you know there are dozens of ways to serve Browner's beans? I prefer to serve them upwind. Millions of housewives agree. Browner's baked beans are the best. It's like a colon cleanse in a can. There you go.
See,
and it's surprising we didn't have the fatwa.
Actually, in Rick's defense, he was translating from the original Slovenian.
White Ford Focus, I think it is regruling.
Regruling?
I think it's regaling.
I think it's regaling.
Yeah?
No, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, it doesn't make any sense.
I know. Well, you know.
I'll
look at an earlier draft.
Love than the other three.
How come what?
How come I have less love than the other three?
Okay, it's refueling. Not so much eating as refueling, as in.
Gotcha.
You know.
Can I give myself love here?
No.
No, you can't do it to yourself.
No, you'll go blind if you do.
I'm doing it now.
Tell me you're wearing
No
pants.
longer having to rush backstage to use the bathroom. You just. That's great. Not now, Pete. Not now. Kids are still up. Pete, kids are up. Kardashians are on later. Watch again. You should choose that script. My mom had a colonoscopy today. Oh, I apologize. It was not intentional. I was just refueling. Excellent. Okay.
It's a good
So
idea.
who here has had a colonoscopy?
Who? I've
Who's had a
That
colonoscopy?
the camera thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I had one of those. Yeah.
The first one I took was they drug you up a lot, and someone has to drive you home. And then the second time I went, she said, "Well, there's this one where we don't drug you up and you drive yourself home." I said, "Oh, I'll take that one." And,
My doctor said that he put the camera on the end of his penis.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting experience.
And he wasn't really a doctor either, which is just, at some point, you're responsible. That's all I'm saying. So I just
A real doctor doesn't ask for money for the hotel room.
Hey, do you remember that story of the doctor that got busted in the Park Royal Plaza? He was seeing patients in the hotel room.
No.
And women were coming, and he was treating them in the hotel room, and he had dozens. And he got busted for fraud.
Oh, I remember when I had one done was they kept saying pan left, which I thought was.
So people are asking about Mr. Canoe Head. What do you want to know? And Shrew Boy.
What does Shrew Boy want?
I don't know. They talked about Shrew Boy. Was that one of our sidekicks?
No, Marvin the Mole.
Marvin the Mole?
We had Marvin the Mole, but I don't think Marvin and Canoe Head never interacted.
No, but
we always
okay.
did
I'll
think
go get.
Shrew was a funny
I'll go
thing.
get. What's that?
We did make some Shrew jokes. I didn't know if there was a Shrew Boy.
Oh, what about Canoe Head went to the center of the earth for the Shrew King? What was that one?
Oh, that was in the no, that was
There was Llewellyn the Shrew who went meep meep.
Yeah, no, but then there was a Mr. Canoe. It was in the comic book, and he saved Canoe Head saved the orphanage.
Right. The orphanage was dug. The moles dug around the orphanage and it sank into the ground.
With the hot mud.
It wasn't an orphanage. It was the monastery because they wanted to make their own mole beer or something, right?
I could go find those files.
Hover Boy comic book.
No, it's a different thing altogether. The Kingdom of the Mole People. Yeah, that was it. And then he that was your monologue, right?
Yeah, that was the monologue. Yeah, called
Moles and Shrews figure prominently in our work.
It was Num Knew the Mole Queen.
That was it.
Yes. Your monologue.
With her 12 teats.
12. Count them, gents. 12.
That was a very funny monologue, Dan. It was always a joy to stand backstage watching you do it.
Yeah.
Yes. I often ended
Isn't there
up
a magazine?
Yeah. There's a magazine for everything, Rick.
No, there was a magazine called Gent.
Oh, Gent, home of the D cup.
Yeah, and every time I've gone into the Gents now, I go in and no, there's never. It's just some urinals. I don't understand.
Well, if you go to Hero Burger, they have a logo right on the washroom that says "Home of the Hero Burger." I think they wrecked the logo.
That's the final resting place of the Hero Burger.
And if you can eat a Hero Burger and immediately need to go to the washroom, I think you need to go see a doctor.
and get one of the colonoscopies there. So we're recommending. And you don't have to have a friend drive you, but you may make a friend on your way home. Rebecca Con Theater in Halifax was on iPod information overload.
Any copies of Mosquito Lake exist, Dan? Do you have any copies of Mosquito Lake?
I do. I actually have got some copies of Mosquito Lake in the basement somewhere.
Have you watched them recently?
Recently?
Well, have you watched them in the intervening years?
Today.
I have not watched an episode in. I think I showed some to my kids when they were, years ago. So probably not in 15 years or so.
Were you trying to make them do something?
That's right. That's right. They were naughty children, and after that they behaved.
Daddy, no.
Don't make us watch Mike
McDonald. Daddy, stop the mugging.
The VHS broke. We're saved.
Oh, Daddy, why are you in those shorts?
Okay. Did everyone contribute to the songwriting? Was that mostly Peter? Yeah, I did anything in the key of F. That was all I knew.
Well, if someone asks about Mike McDonald since his health scare, I did contribute money to his to help save him during that. He had that Kickstarter program thing or something.
Yeah, I gave money too, but I thought it was palliative care. If I'd known he was going to get better, I would never have.
Is it okay to ask for the money back now that he's healthy? Or
exactly.
Okay, enough Mike McDonald. So, always interested in the creative process of comedy. Oh, that's a great question. Did you guys sit around a table tossing out ideas? Where did you write scripts? And what was the process like?
It was slow and painful. And no, it was, everybody wrote on their own. And then once every day and a half, we got together and read. Day and a half, 2 days?
Yeah, depending on how much time we'd had. Sometimes people needed a bit more, we'd take longer.
And we'd pitch it to each other.
Yeah. You just read it, and then you got to take it away.
What was interesting about Our Way, because I've worked with other people, I've never seen anybody else do it Our Way, which was that the one person would read, like Rick just read the Mrs. Tarnicki script, the one person would read all the parts, and a lot of comedy troupes I've worked with, they hand out the scripts and everybody reads their part for the first time. They cold read the parts. So just the read at the table can kill a perfectly good script because people don't quite know where it's going.
Yeah.
Right. And then it was interesting because we had when we were doing radio, you had to have every 2 weeks we taped 2 radio shows on a whatever night of the week it was. I think it switched from night to night or from year to year, but we had to have 60 minutes of material roughly, which meant we wanted to record almost twice that, which meant we wanted to write almost twice that. So the amount of material that got written was just, it was amazing. It
was gargantuan.
Yeah, it always reminds me of
we did the very first pilot for them, and we threw all our best material in that. And one of them, there were 2 songs in it, and they were the only 2 songs that we ever performed. And at the end, the guy said, yeah, and that's really good, and let's have a song every week. And so we were immediately thrust into, instead of writing 2 songs every 8 years, we had to come up with 4 songs every week, if not more.
Yeah.
So that woke us up.
Sing a song, Pete. Sing a song.
Pete would always contribute the music. He would write the music for it. Like we might come up with a musical idea, and then he would fix it. Play something.
And you would make it stand, Dan.
Through the famine, we made it through the plague, but I don't think I'll make it through the next Christian crusade. Here come the Christians, run for your life. Here come the Christians, protect your wife. Here come the Christians, I find them very odd. Their God says, set thou shalt not kill. Then they kill for their God. They'll slaughter my children with unabandoned bliss. They call this Christianity, well, I'll give it a miss. They call me dirty heathen and shout his will be done. Oh, surely now they must not think that they're the only one. No, here come the Christians, a cross on his knife. Here come the Christians, there goes my wife. They burn down my village and poison my well. I hope their God is happy, because mine's pissed off as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some SoCan on that, baby.
There you go. I love Jesus. It's his fan club I can't stand.
Yeah, fair enough.
Peter, you rock. The
No,
song
somebody
I remember
wrote
the best was the
amazing.
vegetarian song. Bunnies, they're made of meat.
There was the meat song.
Right. Meat. Big hunk song from meat. That's a dance
Somebody
song.
wrote earlier, said 120 minutes of quality material. No. That's what we were. It wasn't. We had 120 minutes. It wasn't quality. But sorry, yes, the meat song.
Why did God give us teeth? He gave us teeth to eat. And what word are we supposed to eat? Something about meat.
God told us to eat meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
Meat. Big hunks of meat.
It wasn't one of my favorites, so I'm afraid I don't remember it too much.
I do remember when we did our very first radio show. I think we were performed for 2 hours straight, and David Milligan went back and with really careful editing, he was able to put together a 17-minute show.
17 minutes, yeah.
Bring it up to the half hour we were supposed to do.
Didn't we have the sound effects guy from the Royal Air Force for that first show?
We did.
Alex Sherman.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Sheridan. Alex Sheridan.
He died after that.
he was hit by a car.
Hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a funny guy with this big, huge, cartoony mustache, as I recall. He looked like
nice
Super
guy.
Mario.
And then we met the lovely Kathy Perry after that.
Yep.
And drove her crazy.
That's right. With the camera on the end of my dick.
We used to.
Oh, let go of that one, okay? Come on.
Please.
That train has left the station.
The fun thing was writing skits. Fun thing was writing skits just deliberately to see, knowing that our sound effects person, Kathy Perry, because the scripts came late, she had 3 days to put everything together. So we'd had skits where children were turning themselves inside out, and there was all these wet stretching sound, whatever. And then when it came to those scenes, there'd be people standing there with their scripts just staring in awe for 8 seconds or 10 seconds while she did her various things.
Yeah, we had most of our shows were live, most of the radio things, and the stuff that was recorded, I think it was just because we tried to do recorded stuff. Were we obligated to do studio things back then?
I think, didn't we? We did. I know we went into the studio once. Did we do the best of for CBC? Because I know we did the best of in the music.
The Fran of the Fundy we did in studio, right?
Yeah, no, we also did a bunch of sketches too. I don't remember that one.
Wasn't Fran of the Fundy done at the YMCA?
That was live.
Yes, it was. That was
Was it?
live.
Yep.
You know, the only things we really did to do without an audience was our first album, and it kind of suffered for that.
Which
the
one?
First album was
the songs for
best
the
of
first
the existing radio show.
Oh, yeah.
The song.
Then the Boot to the Head one was our second one. And then we redid all our stuff live, but we rolled in the music. All the music was pre-done, but that was live. That was maybe my favorite album. Did we have a third album? Well, when we came back, we did some stuff.
We did Enemies
2 or
of
3.
The
Enemies of Reason, and then we did live at Second City.
right.
Yeah.
Go to the Frantics.com. Aren't they listed on Frantics.com or iTunes?
No.
They're both. You can get them on iTunes, and you can get a couple of the CDs. If you actually want the real CDs with my lick stains on it, then you go to the Frantics.com. The Frantics. This can make for excellent TV.
So excited.
There we go.
I got some love for making a face.
Somebody mentions that Alex
love
Sheridan
those.
was on some of the Air Force TV specials. That's right. The first time the Air Force went to television, they basically recorded their radio show, which was a little weird on television because they were standing there reading scripts. And so, but they'd gone to television. So everybody at CBC Radio said, well, we've lost them to television. Who do we replace these 4 guys and a girl? And in walked 4 guys. And they said, would you be willing to add a girl? And we said, if there's a girl willing to work with us. And there was apparently
Maggie Butterfield.
Yes, several. I think everybody lasted a season, maybe 2, and then they moved to Borneo and stuff. So
Randy Humorous says that Earth Raper is amazing. I think so too.
Yeah, that's Paul all the way.
That's Paul. That's your song, Paul, all the way.
I'm kind of the Ringo of the group.
But then if we toured, when we toured and we go to small northern towns, they didn't get it.
Yeah. And Rick, who did the lists, was always really happy to throw Earth Raper in, right in the middle of a community that drove trucks and SUVs, and it would get nothing.
No.
Talk to your mom in your SUV, taking up 2 lanes in front of me.
That's right.
Who is this? Who's this fucker?
Yeah, it was doing your Trudeau-mania sketch in Alberta. That was the the wisdom there.
Or my favorite show, we did a whole show in front of some very wealthy jewelry encrusted people who made jewelry and sold jewelry for a living. And
yeah,
that was a great gig.
Oh yeah, it was incredible rolling silence. No matter what we did, it seemed to build to thunderous nothing at the end.
Except the one jeweler at the back of the room who hired us to do the gig, he was wetting his pants at the back of the room.
Yeah, just laughing.
I think that was our only bomb.
Here, I'm going to go across the room and give you. I'm going to go across the room and laugh. Here's the effect of that show. Total silence.
Yeah, that's actually the sound Rick makes when he's masturbating.
Did that create the effect?
Yes. Oh.
Oh, it's show and tell.
Where's the mute button here?
Chris asked for the saxophone. I am not going to play it.
Play.
Hey, there is a mute button. I got one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's his flask. There. So another gig. That's the kind of gold we'll do.
That kind of stuff. That'll put us over the top, Paul. Drink from your saxophone. Drink from your saxophone.
They say we're too old to be relevant.
Oh my God. Oh. Well.
Nice to see you're still playing the sax. I won't mention the samurai. Samurai. Oh, that's who is that person, right? Yeah.
That's Chris Wallace.
Samurai. Say more about that. What was the samurai? Was that the ninja nun thing where I smashed Paul in the face accidentally?
Chris wasn't there.
No, I know.
But yeah, no, Chris was probably with us because he was at the Royal York with us. He knew it was a Royal York hotel, so he must know.
Well,
he must have been.
But what's the samurai?
Okay, Chris, you're going to have to explain yourself.
Paul's improv. Oh, sumo.
Paul is a sumo wrestler. The anorexic sumo wrestler.
Right. I remember that. We've stopped doing that one.
Yeah.
I did
by popular request.
I don't think we ever did it. It was called anorexia nervosa, which was, they at that point the research was that the most the majority of people suffering from anorexia nervosa tended to be Jewish girls in their teens. And I played Mimi Weintraub, And the thing was, I'm in recovery. That was the entire joke. I don't think we ever did it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
We thought it was funny.
Oh,
And we wrote Schizo song. We can't do that anymore because you can't make fun of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
That's a good
boy.
Oh, yeah. Politically correct. Boy, you can't do hateful stuff against people who are powerless anymore. What's up with that?
Years ago, because I did this ADHD thing a few years ago, I won this CAMH Celebrity Transforming Lives Award, and there were 6 or 7 other people who won that year who were not celebrities, and they had gone through, a lot of them had been through schizophrenia. And I got up and told a joke to start the evening off, because they asked me to also host the evening. So I told the joke about the guy whose car breaks down by the side of the mental hospital, and he's changing the tires, you know, the one, and the bolts go flying, and the guy's watching him. You know the joke? And it ends with, wow, that was a really clever solution. What are you doing in there? And the guy says, I'm crazy, I'm not stupid. And that got a huge laugh. And after that, every person who came up, and they'd been through hell, they all said, Rick told a joke, I'm going to tell a joke. It was the most amazing thing. So these people who they told their story. I mean, it was just frightening at what some of them had been through. And everyone got to tell a joke they remembered or whatever. It was not hilarious, but it was. So the people who would be the most politically sensitive, and they were all telling jokes. I loved it.
Yeah.
What a joke. It's fun to croak. Yeah, that's the we're dead. Like,
yeah.
It's gross, right? You just can't breathe at all. You just and your eyes
stare at the wall. Yeah.
I just
stood up
got the article
and complained about that song.
A Tory backbencher.
Yeah.
Only thing he ever put into Hansard in the entire 12 years of his life in the Parliament.
Our lyrics got read into the record.
That's right. And the CBC got into a huge amount of trouble, and they defended us. They even hired a psychologist, and they researched it for a year. And they played the song to a suicidal individual, and he came back and said that it made me laugh.
Oh, he came back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gave him the song. He went home. I haven't seen him since. I'm not worried.
Well, apparently he didn't want to commit suicide.
Where is that report?
Well, I always thought it reminded me of the Mark Twain thing where Tom Sawyer comes back and he attends his own funeral and is moved to tears by what a wonderful person he'd been. To me, that's it. A kid imagining what it'd be like to be dead and just thinking about the physical aspects of it struck me as being pretty funny and pretty real. So,
it was a very funny song.
Yeah.
But we were very controversial.
If I remember.
CBC didn't like us.
No, I didn't even like us.
No. They thought we were just a bit too much.
Tell us about the video game segments, Paul.
What do you want to know?
What platform did you do the animation on?
NB Hoser wants to know.
Well, okay, let me tell you about the video games.
They were done on Light Bright.
Interesting at the beginning, and then they got worse as the shows went on because I ran out of ideas.
That's pretty good, though.
Well, that's very uplifting, isn't it?
It was
Paul
hard.
Paul did them on a Light Bright. It's just little moving. It is really.
It was a Commodore 64, right?
Yes, Commodore 64.
64K of usable memory.
Oh my goodness!
I programmed everything.
Use it responsibly, friends.
We have a long-winded question here.
Okay.
Let me give it a shot here. How entertainment is distributed has changed so much. Do you find people still enjoy listening to the radio show? So much of what I loved about Frantic Times, hearing sketches and visions, on the head.
Read out loud.
Well, no, everybody can read it.
Oh, I don't want to. Okay.
All right.
The interesting thing about radio, someone talked to me, told me years ago, it's a more sophisticated medium because you're picturing it. I don't know that people are still listening to Frantics radio shows, but I do know that when I do listen to radio, it's nice because it's theater of the mind, and you get to fill in the blanks and imagine what people look like, and it's a little, I don't know, it's a little disappointing to have to fill in all the blanks. It's less sophisticated because your mind's doing less work.
I don't think anyone has time. People don't have the time.
I'd rather listen to the goons than watch them.
Yeah.
And it's well, I think that's why I could be wrong. I don't know, but I think that's why what's his name called it a hot medium. Who's the medium is a message? What's his name?
Marshall McLuhan.
Marshall McLuhan, and he said radio's a hotter medium because when they say he was a handsome prince, you picture your version of a handsome prince, whereas, if they whatever it is on television, they've got someone who the casting agent thought was or whatever. The fun for us with radio was always. You could do anything. You could do anything. Like I said, we had Kids Turn Inside Out, and we just like the freedom to come up with whatever we wanted. And then when we had to go to but when we went to television, and suddenly, well, how are we going to? You got to do Mr. Canoe Head. Canoe's 16 feet long, and it's just you can't
can
really
do it now with CG.
Yeah.
We did it with CG.
A small sidebar here. I was doing a show at the Social Capital the other night, and I tried Jerkwad Dipshit again. You know that?
Yeah. I love that piece.
Yeah, I know. You can see Dan light up, and the other two go.
Ooh.
So it's a train wreck waiting to happen, and I got the last verse figured out, and I used Marshall McLuhan because he had a truck he was going to help me move, and he never showed up. So
how did the song go over?
It didn't.
Not too bad. I like that song.
I do too. You can get it on iTunes.
I don't think anyone has the patience to listen to radio comedy.
Yeah, but people listen to long radio podcasts, so you'd think that would be one thing they'd listen to. That's
interesting. I was listening to Nick Danger because what's his name from the Firesign Theater died. So I went back to my recordings and listened to Nick Danger again. Holy smokes, is that funny?
Oh yeah,
Nick Danger, Third Eye.
Yeah,
I was sitting in my office listening to the staccato of Rain on my desk. I didn't hear him enter, but there was only one joker in LA sensitive enough to wear that scent, and I had to find out who he was. Mr. Danger. I had a friend who, my friend Mike Kerr, they went on vacation and he took along to play in the car for these kids who were, 14, 13, whatever. And they're all waiting or maybe even younger. And all he brought was a Firesign Theater. And he started loading. And the kids are just in there, shut it off! Shut it off! This sucks! I don't get it! Shut it off! And he played it like 3 times.
We got a whole bunch
and
of
by
questions
the third time, they're all going, and then by the 6th time, they're all going, Mr. Danger! The whole carload.
So, radio customers, did you mention yet if new TV shows or radio shows are in the works?
Yes, we have a new show. What's it called, Dan?
It's called Blab.
I've got a show called Sunnyside, but the new Frantics show.
That new series we're doing.
Channel.
Yeah,
we're going to be on the Quickie Mart TV channel.
Yeah. It's a little tiny square up in the upper right. Look for it. You'll see.
Yeah. We realized that attitude of waving and performing that way, we look younger. So it's
no, we don't have any TV
I drive around
in the pipe.
No.
Brown Car is one of our favorites. Wow. Lots of people are very loyal to the old time rock radio shows. That's Patty, 1930s. But Patty, you're an intellectual. Yes. What can I say?
The 1930s onwards. That's where we were big then.
Someone helped us
with
our mics.
I'm the guy who helped you with your mics.
When we tested last Sunday.
Oh, hey!
Good. It all fell to shit since then.
Appreciate you coming back.
I hope he's not on the clock. We owe him a lot of money.
Oh, man.
He's just been sitting at home drumming his fingers.
Well, we're going to try to get the rest of our radio shows from Frantic Times out.
Right.
What else are we going to try to do?
Well, we're going to try and do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll bring. We should. I think we should. We'll bring some scripts and songs to do next time. And it's very nice that everybody came along here. This is good.
You guys want to read Duncan, Mike, Ted, and Jeff?
I didn't print mine up.
I didn't.
Have one person do it. Do you want one person to do it?
No. I think you need. I think you need a four banger on that.
I think so.
Okay. So
I can't even remember which one was I was.
going to ask about.
Who was I? I'm Mike Duncan in Ottawa. I'm Ted Jeff in Ottawa. I'm Jeff Oswald.
I seem to recall every time we read this, the first reading was awful, and then around the fourth or fifth, it got listenable. Like this one's very good actually. It's one of the clever.
Hang on, is that the one that was sent to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that can be our teaser. We'll do that next week. We'll do that on our next show.
Okay.
We'll rehearse it a little bit.
No.
You need another Mrs. Sarnicki to go out on?
No. We should clarify. Actually, we should clarify what a frantic rehearsal is.
Yeah.
And that the four of us sitting around a table, just reading material, and then thank you, Paul. And then reading it 2 or 3 times and figure, and you go like that and I'll go like that. Okay, good. Done. We never rehearsed on our feet.
That's right. Yeah, it was never good.
And there were only 3 directions. Louder, do it faster, or give it to someone else to do.
Let's switch roles.
Yeah, that was interesting.
What was the oddball?
That solved 2% of the problem, so.
Oh, this is interesting.
That was one of our comedy techniques.
Somebody's asking about the oddball episode of Four on the Floor, and that was actually the pilot. And so we were this hot comedy troupe. We had all these skits, and the director decided to reinvent skit comedy by taking these weirdly imaginative scenes and putting them in the middle of complete black void, because television loves black. And so none of them worked.
With a geometric shape in the background, and everything would have the same color. So like if we had props, they would all be painted the same color blue, and the video playing behind us would be the same shade of blue or the same shade of red. So yeah, that was an oddball. By oddball, you mean shit? Yes.
Yeah, I think, and
it was the Doctor Who opening technique, but all the way through the fucking show.
And it was a comedy.
Don't do the Doctor Who thing. We can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. It was an interesting theory that in order to get people to laugh, they want to relate to it. So the best idea is to give them something unlike anything they've ever seen before. Feel like
it worked when he did Taller Cranston.
Yes, he had done a Taller Cranston show, because then people said, "Oh, that's not Taller Cranston," and they were fooled. It was actually Taller Cranston.
There's 4 Taller Cranstons, and they don't look well.
I was talking to someone today, and they asked if any of us was gay, and probably we'd be more successful right now if one of us was gay.
Damn,
they really like the kids in the hall.
I'm going to take one for the team.
He's wearing a bow tie.
Can you lend me your little camera, Paul?
Okay. They don't call it a GoPro for nothing.
Take the lens cap off, please. And it doesn't need a tripod, by the way.
Nope, but the lens cap is what scrapes the polyps as you go in and out.
Right.
How to win friends and influence people.
I don't know.
Well done, Dale Carnegie.
All right.
I don't know where it comes from.
No, we do.
It's just there.
No, it's
like
not. It comes from your mouth.
It comes into my head.
It comes from your mouth.
Well, the camera will figure out where it comes from. So you're. How about a 4 on the Floor movie shot with a phone and a Mr. Microphone? See, that we could afford.
And what should it be? What it should be about? What should the plot be? Randy Humorous.
Yeah. And could you send us this dialogue?
And can you get us a 15-page treatment by tomorrow?
That's funny.
FWIW. The plot was episode 11 by aired order, followed by Canoe Head episode. You know more about our stuff than we do.
Yeah. Very funny.
Oh yes, we because that's called burying it. So you don't want it to be the early in the season, but you don't want it to be the last show, the last taste they get of it. So you bury it around episode 11. Now in second season, nothing. There's no second season, but
we
I
didn't
have
write the
scripts
script
from
for it.
second season, though. I'm curious to go and actually look at the scripts from the second season and see if they were as good as I thought they were, because it seems to me there was some really funny stuff there.
Well, we're ending in another few minutes. You can keep going afterwards, Rick.
No, it's okay. I'm
Well,
good.
I'm curious, but I'd be curious to see those episodes if they
Okay,
hold up.
I'll find one for next time, and
Okay.
yeah, we'll do some stuff.
Okay.
I feel like I should do another Mrs. Sarnicki.
Oh no!
One more?
No! Oh no! No! You don't have to do that. It won't be no.
No, our next show will be a performance one. We'll do stuff.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure this out.
We will do stuff. This was fun. So when is our next one, boys? Do we want to pick a date now?
We could.
Yeah,
Sure.
watch this. Watch it. Here's a frantic meeting. Let's pick a date. Watch. Everybody pay attention. Here it comes.
Well, how
Christmas
frequently
Day?
do you want to do it, guys? How frequently do you want to do it? I mean, we could do it every Thursday. We could pick Thursday 7 p.m. as our slot.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure.
And do it
I'll have
every
to
2
check my
weeks.
calendar, but I think
There we go.
There it is.
See? There you go.
There it is.
I wouldn't, but hang on. Ava, can you see what I'm doing next Thursday? And
Yes,
if I'm not, can you make something up so I don't have to do this again? Mute. Where's mute?
It's off to the side there. I can mute you. There you go. Rick's muted.
Thanks for showing up,
Chased
Whiteboard.
up by love.
How about a live tour to Halifax?
That's so much better than a dead tour.
Yep.
We will play live someplace, but we want at least 3 other engagements in that same area. So traveling out there makes it worthwhile. We're just not
I
in
thought
the
you were
one
gonna
trip
say-
mode anymore.
I thought you were going to say we want 3 more guys in the audience.
We don't go on if we're out if we outnumber the audience. That's our rule.
Yeah.
We did a tour 2 Christmases ago. That was really a lot of fun.
Although my favorite was they booked us into a town and the posters and all the advertising had the wrong date on it.
I was
They had
thinking
the
of
wrong
that.
date. And then they wondered why half the seats were empty.
It was the
What's that?
right day, wrong date.
Yeah.
So the people who followed the day and said, "Oh, Saturday, that's what I'm going." They're on Saturday. But the people who followed the date showed up on
October.
Sunday.
Was that in Peterborough? Or was that no?
Cobalt.
Cobalt, Ontario.
Cobalt. Yes.
At that
That was
old
the guy who showed up at the motel, who ran the motel, and it was minus 40. And he opened the door, and he had his house coat on and just a T-shirt. His gut was hanging out, and he had a highball. And it was a French kind of accent. So nobody gave you the keys? Holy fuck. Okay, I'll get them for you. Then he walked over to the theater.
All
They
right.
had a girl in there somewhere, too. In that in his
Cobalt is
hotel
a
room.
rockin' town. Oh, I get it. Rocks. Very good.
Okay, so Ava says I'm unpilling sweaters. In other words, I'm free. So it's good.
All right. So
Okay.
be
Or is it unpiling?
So are we saying next Thursday?
next Thursday, 7 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Be there or be rectangular.
All right.
I'm unpilling sweaters. Is
We
that
got 3 more minutes to fill, guys. Oh, Peter went.
Thank you, everyone, for
Anyway.
coming in.
Okay.
Then
We'll see
Okay,
you.
once they're gone, I'll
signing
read
off.
another.
Rick and Beerley.
This is like singing Auf Wiedersehen and Sound of Music. Goodbye, and we'll see
It
everybody
was
next
great
Thursday
having
at 7.
everybody. Thank you very much for putting up with us.
And I'm going to read some.
Bye, Paul.